Hi there. The purpose of this video is to introduce a new feature in Google Apps for Education, and this specifically relates to anyone out there using Google Forms or wants to try using Google Forms. So there is a new feature that allows you to actually use Forms as a quiz. So to show you where to start if you want to create one of these, you're going to go to your Google Drive, select New, and under the More option, there's an option to go to Google Forms. So right now we're creating a new form by clicking that option. And here's where you start to build your quiz. So it's going to look just like Google Forms to begin. The way that you can add the quiz option is if you go to the gear in the top right corner, and then you'll see under settings there are three different options. You're going to select quizzes and then simply select make this a quiz, and you can see you have some options here. So if you want to release grades right after the student submits, you can have it automatically give them feedback, or if you prefer to wait after you've manually reviewed the answers, you can do that as well if you maybe have some like short answer or open-ended questions. You can also limit students so that they can see their missed questions, any correct answers, or point values. So those are all up to you. So I'm going to leave all of those selected for now. And here I'm going to go back to my form and add some sections. So by adding sections, it actually allows you to create a quiz where students will only see one question at a time. And so if I click on section 2 of 3 and go to this plus sign here, which allows me to add a question, I can add any of the following types of questions. So there's short answer, which usually is limited to 1 to maybe like a few words, no more than a sentence. Paragraphs, those are going to have to be graded manually. But the options for multiple choice, check boxes, drop down, these are all really nice options for anyone who's looking to give really fast feedback that automatically sends the student answers. So I'm going to keep this as multiple choice. So once you've typed your question, I highly recommend selecting the required option at the very bottom, because that's going to make sure that students select an answer before submitting. Otherwise, they could potentially submit something that they forgot to answer a question. And by adding the other option, that also allows students to write in an option or an answer that they don't see as one of the options. So now that I have that question required, there are a couple of features you should know about. The first is the bottom left, which is the answer key. So if you select that, you'll see that here's where I can adjust the number of points. Let's say I want to make this a 5-point question, and I want to offer feedback. So if they were to select an answer that was incorrect to the question, you could enter feedback here that will automatically be sent to students who select an incorrect answer. You can also send them a link which will take them to maybe like a video that will help to review something that they may have missed, a concept that's related to the answer. And then if you want to provide positive feedback here for correct answers, or maybe an extension off of the correct answer, you can do so here as well. Other things that you can do with the question, so if you select the bottom right here, you can also shuffle the options around. So if you want students to not have this order of answers, you're able to do that. You can also insert pictures for each of the answer choices. You're also able to add a video. So if you want students to view a video and then answer a question about that video, you have an option for videos, images. You can also add extra text if you have a need for that. So it's pretty robust in terms of what you can do with it. These are really easy to create. They don't take a lot of time, and it's the nicest feature I think about this is that it's going to save time in grading for formative assessments and provide students with really quick feedback. So to share with you what some responses might look like, here's a finished form that you can see. These are all open-ended questions here, so the teacher would have to go in and manually grade these. And the teacher has an option to see a summary of responses, which provides the teacher with the average number of points out of the total, the median, and the possible range. For any multiple choice questions, they'll actually appear like a pie chart, so you can see how many people answered each question. So while this is just indicating the set number, it could work for any multiple choice question. And then below each of the short answer or open-ended questions, you'll see just a compilation of all of the answers. So it's nice if you want to see just a summary of how the class did and see if there's a question maybe you need to go back and address with the whole group. But you can also see individual scores by selecting individual. And here you can navigate between students by clicking on your left and right arrows. You'll see that anything that's marked green earned 2 out of 2 points. So they earned full credit. And I can change the point values by going right here and selecting from the up and down arrows. And then I can also provide feedback. So even though this group answered this question correctly, I still wanted to give them feedback because one of the things they said was slightly inaccurate. So you can provide feedback on questions that are answered correctly or incorrectly, and then you're able to save those responses and feedback, and also save any updates that you might make if you go back and decide to change something. So this quiz was set up so that students don't get automatic feedback because I had to review these questions myself. But once I have gone through and answered all of the student responses, then I can simply go to release score, and that will release the scores to students. So if I select that, you'll see that I have a list of student options to select from, and if I would check mark all of these students, they would all receive an email giving them a link that lets them see their score. One of the drawbacks I found with this through my own use was I originally used this with groups of students to submit responses, and realized later that students who submitted the group answer are the only ones who are really able to see the feedback right away. So you just have to work around and give students maybe a chance in class to touch base with their group members. But in any case, this probably works best with individual students. So my challenge for you is if you're still watching, create your own quiz using Google Forms and successfully use it in a class with your students. If anyone takes me up on this challenge and successfully completes it in the next 2 weeks, there will be a prize. Good luck!